For the folks at home, this is a huge deal, and they did it.
For the first time in history, we brought goodies back home from this kind of object in the history of humanity. So this is big.
This is so huge.
This mission proves that NASA does big things.
What you're about to see is basically the equivalent of throwing a touchdown pass over 10 football fields away and landing it perfectly in that end zone.
Absolutely historic. How are you feeling?
Pretty amazing.
It was like, wow, this is what,
dreams and imagination
it's fueled with. This is just amazing. So, it can go from the movies, but
this is reality.
And we're doing things that people couldn't even believe could happen. It's amazing. Yeah.
Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
This fragment of rock it contains the ingredients that happen when you make planets, that happens when you make life.
How did you prepare for this today?
So preparation has been in the process for a long time.
So by studying a sample from the leftovers of space, we can study a sample from the leftovers of the formation of the Earth.
The team and the UTR have been working together, both Lockheed and NASA, and we've been doing rehearsals.
Look at the chemistry in detail as you can only do on the ground, using instruments that are sometimes bigger than a launch pad, let alone the rock and the spacecraft.
So that we are more familiar with their capsule, and they're more familiar with our terrain here as well.
So we can interrogate the compounds, the minerals in fine detail to understand how they interact with each other and how they could have led to the history of the solar system.
We've been briefed on the actual items that we've dropped out here. They've been through practices getting on and off the helicopters.
Boy, Jim, how can you not get excited about that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, that's going to be so cool.
You must be so relieved. Fantastic, yes. Oh, it was thrilling.
Like
absolutely thrilling.
Yeah. It's really hard not to get a little emotional. Can you believe it?
OMG. Touchdown for science.
So special.
Literally tingling all over with exhilaration. Unbelievable.
Wow, that is truly unbelievable.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Wow.
Wow. It's a really exciting day.
Amazing.
Wow, I get chills every time I see that.
Me too.
Amazing.
The excitement certainly is rising.
Literally beyond words. It's sublime. Unbelievable. Can't wait.
And it's the actual SRC that they use because it is covered in dirt, as you can see on here.
This is dirt, scratch marks.
All the scratch marks, yeah.
It's a rough ride,
the real deal.
but we need it to come home. This
Absolutely.
is a real sort of homecoming.
One boulder in particular that OSIRIS-REx had to navigate around was nicknamed Mount Doom and was the size of a 2-story building.
Crazy deceleration of our spacecraft, starting at 27,000 miles per hour when it enters into Earth's atmosphere, and eventually slowing to a leisurely 11 miles per hour as it descends and lands on the Utah Test and Training Range. It's going to be coming in hot, over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, almost a couple seconds after it hits that atmosphere. That's about half as warm as the surface of the sun, to give you some context. And we actually have a visual now. This is from our infrared tracking camera on the WB-57, our high altitude plane. At about 47,000 feet MSL, mean sea level, getting a great view of that SRC heating up as it enters into Earth's atmosphere. The punishing deceleration that SRC is experiencing right now, as it comes in at about 27,650 miles an hour. You can see it glowing brightly in the sky. Wow, and after an exhilarating streak across Earth's atmosphere, we have parachute deployment. You can see just a sigh of relief from the team. I can hear some applause here. There is that orange creamsicle colored parachute, just a delight, a sweet delight to see. When we took that sample, we were over 200 million miles away from us here on Earth. The long journey back, 1.2 billion miles from asteroid Bennu, back to here with that sample, has just come to a dramatic close. This is why we do science, right? To get these kinds of samples.
So unfortunately, we can't give you Bennu. We can give you pictures and up-close vantage point like we've given you today, and as the science is done by the science community, and so you'll be part of that, and you can write proposals to work on samples if you have a neat new instrument you want to try. So stay tuned. We went from cosmic velocity to velocity smaller than an ant would use to crawl across a table to pick up a crumb. And so
That's the speed of science. Not everybody can be a robot polisher.
So Just a couple weeks ago, we dropped this replica, this engineering test unit, from 5,000 feet with a parachute deployment and went through all the operations, the choreography we need to actually make sure we can do it today.
Are you going to stick around for the show?
Carefully rehearsed recovery process.
Very carefully choreographed.
Well rehearsed by a masterful team.
This is reality.